cheerleaders, my name is Livia Fiore and today is an A day. Monday marks the beginning of the hybrid schedule and the times of classes are changing as well. Block A is 8 to 9:10, Block B is 9:20 to 10:30, Block C is 10:40 to 11:50, and Block D is 12 o'clock to 1:10. Have a great weekend!
Welcome everybody. This is your Week 10 predictions for this weekend's NFL games. I'm joined by Gavin Coca, Liam Marr, and Dallas Lorenzetti. Let's start off with a big game we have. We have the Bills versus the Cardinals at 4:25. 4:05. So let's start off with Gavin. Tell me how you feel about this game.
All right. Well, Kyler Murray is on a roll right now. He's got number one target, D Hop. And I picked up the Bills D for fantasy football, and they've been doing garbage for a very long time. And I was surprised to see that they weren't as good as I thought. Their defense, the Bills defense, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So I think the Cardinals, and I think Kyler Murray is going to have another tremendous game. And I think the Cardinals are going to come up on top about 28-13.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Let's go over to Dallas.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams have pretty explosive offenses. Stephon Diggs having a great year. So is Josh Allen. Obviously, like Gavin said, the Cardinals have D-Hop. Christian Kirk's been performing a little bit. Picked him up in fantasy. Great pickup, must say. Kyler Murray having a pretty strong year. Potential. Could sneak into the MVP conversation. Never know. He's a great rusher, great passer. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Cardinals will take it 34-31, 35-31, something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that Kyler Murray MVP prediction. It's pretty bold. All right. Let's hear from Liam.
I got to agree with Dallas. I mean, the Bills just beat the Seahawks, who was most people thought number one team in the NFC, aside of the Packers. And even though the Seahawks D is a little rough, I mean, but seeing the Cardinals just lose to the Dolphins, I mean, the Dolphins are a surprisingly strong team this year, but I think just seeing them lose that game by how they did, and then seeing how the Bills handled the Seahawks so well, and the Seahawks are one of the best teams in the league, I got the Bills in this, like 21-7.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Liam on this one. I think that the Bills have really been showing off. And Josh Allen, you could say whatever you want, but he's a player. And I do think that it's going to be a battle between the two quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you have that, it also comes down to defense. And I think that the Bills will come on top 35-21.
Yeah, Lem, you think the Cardinals are only gonna have 7 points? That's crazy.
Man, that Bills D can show up. You never know. Take away Kyler, take away his running ability, and I don't know.
Kyler can sling it though.
That's what I mean. He's got D-Hop and Kirk.
Hey, yo, I'm starting him this week in fantasy, so hopefully he slings that all around the field.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a good game. So without further ado, let's go to our next game. We have the Seahawks and the Rams facing off on Sunday, 4:25. And it's a pretty big game. It's potentially winner takes first place in their division. So let's start off with Dallas this time. Tell me what you think.
All right, so obviously last week we saw the Seahawks defense do pretty poorly. I think they gave over 40 points to the Bills. Their offense, obviously very dynamic and explosive with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But I think they will come out on top. The Rams are a very streaky team this season, offensively and defensively. And I think the Seahawks just have the upper hand with Russ especially. So I think the Seahawks will take it. I don't think it'll be a blowout, probably like 31-24, 31-20, something along those lines.
So high-scoring game, huh? Yeah. Let's go over to Liam. Tell me what are your thoughts.
I think this is going to be one of the games of the day because you have the Seahawks, who, again, are one of the best teams in the league, even though their defense is probably bottom 5, bottom 10 in the league, but their offense is top 3. And you have the Rams, who just are like average both ways. But I see the Seahawks I see the Seahawks winning comfortably here, probably like 35-20.
That's a good prediction. Good prediction. And how about you, Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Russell Wilson, he's having a great year. I feel like he's on track for MVP. And I have Tyler Lockett on fantasy. They got Metcalf. Everyone knows they got maybe the best receiving core in the league. And I don't know. The Rams, I mean, honestly, the Rams do have one of the best receiving cores too. They got Cooper Kupp and they got Robert Woods. So I think it's going to be a really high scoring, high passing yard offensive game. And I'm going to have it go 38-31, something like that, something along those lines, high scoring. But the Seahawks winning. That's what I forgot to say. I'm at the Seahawks.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to say I got the Rams on this one because, like I always say, defense wins championships, and a stat says that the Seahawks
Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. Offense wins games.
That's the other half. But the Seahawks are ranked 31st in defense in the league, which at 6-2 is surprising. But I think when they face up against Cooper Kupp, Higbee as well, I think Higbee. I think he's one of their best underrated players, but I think Jared Goff is going off, and I hope he does because he's in my fantasy team. So we'll see how that game goes. But I have the Rams on top, high-scoring game. I say 42-35.
Nice.
And let's head on to our last game, which is your Sunday night football game, and you have the Ravens against the Patriots at 8:20, which is also another good game. And let's start off with Gavin.
All right. Well, for me, this is a pretty clear-cut victory. I think the Ravens are going to take care of the Patriots, no problem. In my opinion, Cam Newton's been doing terrible. I mean, week one, I thought he was going to be good, and then after that, I don't know. I just haven't really seen anything from him. Their defense is absolute garbage. They almost just lost me. I was up. They almost just lost me the closest fantasy game against the Jets, and I was really frustrated. And they finally got an interception, which won me the game. But I had no faith in the offense of the Patriots, no faith in the defense of the Patriots, and I feel like Lamar is going to go off this game and look to get back on track.
Definitely. How about you, Dallas?
Yeah, so I think the Ravens will win, but I don't think it'll be a blowout because all you have to do against the Ravens is play the run. I don't think Lamar is a great quarterback. I know a lot of people do. He can't throw the ball. He's a strictly rushing quarterback. They run the option. All you have to do is be able to play that, and you can stop them. Look at the playoff games. Look at all the games they've lost. If you play the run, you can beat them. If the Patriots play the run, they have a chance of beating them. That's all I'm going to say. I think the Ravens will win. But if the Patriots play the run, they will upset the Ravens.
Yeah, definitely. And how about you, Liam?
I agree with Dallas. I mean, Lamar compared to last year, no one really knew who Lamar was last year, so they didn't really play the run. Now this year, they know who he is. Every scouting report is probably on every team they play every week is don't let Lamar run for 100 yards. You stop that, he cannot throw the ball. If you look at his receivers' stats this year, I believe there's not one receiver over 500 yards receiving.
Dak Prescott has thrown for more yards than Lamar. Dak Prescott
has been out for 3 weeks. But also, the Patriots almost lose to the Jets, an 0-8 Jets. I like the fact that they almost lost that. I can see the Ravens winning comfortably, but there is the chance of Bill Belichick using his brain, stopping Lamar, and it could be a close game. But I see the Ravens probably 24-17.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of good things said. I would definitely say that this is the Patriots' chance to turn around their season, try to make something out of it. I think that they're a terrible team, but I do have faith in Bill Belichick. He always has a trick up his sleeve, but at the same time, you have Lamar on the other side, and I do agree with Dallas that Lamar has gone down tremendously this year, and he's pretty predictable now. And I'm going to have to say that in this game, it's going to be a close one because I don't think the Ravens have anything special. But, I mean, the rushing game is pretty good, I'm not going to lie. But I have the Ravens going, let's say, 35-28.
You got the Heisman.
I think the Ravens defense is about to clamp Cam Newton because Cam is kind of the same as Lamar.
I
He
agree.
really can't throw
with
it,
that.
but the Ravens defense arguably best in the league, top 3 against the Patriots offense that's like bottom 5.
So one reason, before we end off real quick, the one reason I said Kyler Murray could sneak into the MVP conversation is because Lamar won MVP last year, but Kyler Murray is a very similar player. The only difference is Kyler Murray can throw the ball downfield for 300 yards per game.
And Russ is starting to cool down. He had 4 turnovers.
I agree, 100%. I think Kyler Murray can sneak in there.
I have both of them on my fantasy team. Russ went from my clear starter to now my bench player. Now I have Kyler as my clear starter. So it could be a very close race for MVP. Who do you think's gonna win MVP, bro? Lamar,
baby.
Well, bro, I think he's had 2 games over 20
Lamar's so overrated.
points.
He is so overrated.
I gotta
2
say,
points, 2 games
Lamar, baby.
2 games over 20 fantasy points.
I gotta say, MVP is going to be a non-QB, and it's going to be Dalvin Cook.
I like that. I like that.
Nah,
a lot.
I can see
I like that
Alvin.
a lot.
Yo,
actually.
I can see Alvin.
Real quick.
Alvin.
Dalvin or Alvin?
D
Dalvin Cook.
for Dalvin.
If
Dalvin.
the Vikings make the playoffs, Dalvin Cook is MVP, no doubt.
Dalvin.
Bro, Dalvin gets the rushing yards, but he don't get the receptions. Look, Kamara's getting receiver-like receptions.
He's leading that team though. He's single-handedly beating other teams. Dalvin Cook is. Kirk
When
Cousins,
Michael
though,
Thomas was out,
Go.
Kamara was averaging 9 receptions,
Go.
I'm telling you, Kamara could sneak into the MVP race. I can see it. I can see Kamara because he's getting receiver-like stats plus running the ball for 60, 70 yards a game. Come on.
Dalvin be rushing.
Dalvin's over 200.
Okay, that's
Sean
2
Martin
games, and he played
in the
what, the
NFL.
Lions? Who did he play last week? The Lions? Like,
He
come
beat the
on.
Packers.
Alvin
He
Kamara
scored
could
4 on
rush
the
for 200.
Packers.
The Packers.
And the Packers defense hasn't really been that good either this year.
You just said they were number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Packers offense is also top 2, top 3 because my boy Devontae, best receiver in the league, baby.
Metcalf.
That's another.
DK
All right.
Metcalf.
Well, let's not dwindle. I think that we have a good weekend in front of us, and that concludes your Week 10 selections. And join us next time for a recap and Week 11.